Hello everyone, Attack Power here with Game 1 between Koenig and Mr. Ghosty in the September monthly tournament. Let's dive right in here to Orsha East. And on the left, in the red, we have Colonel Koenig playing 3rd U.S. Armored on Maverick Income. And on the right, in the blue, we've got Mr. Ghosty playing 2nd Pancelos on Maverick Income. So remember, the September monthly tournament is an armored-only tournament. That's why we see all these fun armored divisions here and no faction mirrors. Let's dive into Colonel Koenig's deck, 3rd U.S. Armored. Truly the epitome of an armored deck. Small infantry tab, lots and lots of tanks. So the recon tab, you get M8s, you get Stuarts, you get some recon. It's really like, I feel like the most significant thing to come out of this recon tab is really the M8s to give you some explosive starts if you want them. The infantry tab is, of course, extremely limited. Only 5 slots of infantry, all armored rifles of some sort, a couple engineers, but they do have a good number of bazookas. So the armored rifles do come with bazookas, which is pretty darn helpful. And most of the units do come in half tracks, though. Here, I don't see many half tracks, actually. Looks like the majority of the infantry are actually coming in just like regular cars, but you can get like all half tracks. The tank tab, of course, is Sherman's to spare, and all the special Shermans in the game. We have the Jumbo Wumbos, hate these things. The M4A375W Shermans, the M4A176 Shermans. So lots of higher caliber Shermans and stuff. So definitely some great units here, and he's got some Stuarts as well. Support tab, you do get the M4A3 longer range support Stuart, and then the dreaded 50 cals. In the AT tab, you get the phenomenal American M10s with their APCR, and you do get the M5 gun, which is a really strong piece of AT. The AA tab is okay. It's pretty limited, but you do get 40 mil Bofors, and the M15 is okay, but the 40 mil is definitely more useful. The RD tab, pretty good. You get the M7s, which are basically like priests, 81 mil mortar on the half track, and a yucky 155 mil off map, which is very strong. And he's actually just bringing 2 F6s, Cs, like recon planes for his air. Really kind of weird, actually. But over to 2nd Pancelos, Hungarian division with a lot of tools. Very flexible, very strong division here. Recon tab, you get the Lovas Veladeko. I can't see it. It's too far away. Veladetok, something like that. Sorry, they are basically like chunky infantry squads. They're just rifleman squads. Pretty good, pretty cheap. Panda 3s and Toldi 2s. The infantry tab is phenomenally efficient in terms of price. You get Motorolovas, you get Moto Arkazoks. It's just an extremely efficient tab. It's not strong per se in terms of the actual quality of the infantry, but for their price, they are very solid. MG42 wielding monsters. The tank tab, of course, the highlight of this division as well. You get a magnificent mix of Terrans, Panzer IVs, Tigers, and Panthers. Everything you could want. Although he's not bringing the card of Terran 1s. Kind of weird, actually. Usually, those are kind of like a must include. But I guess against this division, the Terran 1s are a little less useful. Although killing half tracks, I feel like that'd be really useful for them. But obviously, Shermans, they don't match up well against at all. The support tab, pretty bad. That part's not great. You do lack like 2k HE other than your tanks. AT tab, not much necessary here, although Pack 40 75 mils are nice. The AA tab is absolutely amazing with just Nimrod span, which what else do you really need? RD tab, phenomenal with the Hungarian 149, one of the best RD guns in the game by far. And the air tab, nothing super special here. Just JU-88s, ME-210s, JU-88s. I don't think there's a very good fighter, though. I think it's just ME-109. But off we go, folks. Let's see if we got any big pushes here. Ghosty doing nothing crazy. I mean, his division is slow in terms of transports and stuff. Although, on the flip side, the small transport's very fast for Koenig, but the normal transport's not exactly blistering. So not making any huge pushes. It looks like he's going to try to get into this town. Very common to see that. The flamethrowers will, of course, fly ahead. But no big push here. M5 gun going down. Might be able... M1, excuse me. Might be able to kill off these flamethrowers. Nope, the flamethrowers pull off. What are those Arkazoks? Do we see no leaders here, though? 75 mil does deploy. Can it kill off this M8? It should be able to. Although the heat shell at this range is not going to be ideal in terms of hitting stuff. It does fire extremely fast, though. Will it land the shot? Because this is the only shot it's going to get. And it does. It hits the leader. Boom. Big kill there for Mr. Ghosty right off the bat here. M20 pushing in. Nothing here to actually hold this flag, but the infantry do get in along with another 75 mil. These 75 mils are pretty phenomenal. They're fast firing. They have a good HE damage. And they actually, for their price, they're extremely cheap. And for the price, they have pretty good penetration. ME-210 coming in. Bombing strike goes off. Oh, big hit. Takes out the armored rifles. And the Langzodashoks push in now with the flamethrowers pinned down and the engineers. Of course, these are the two units that matter here. The armored rifles, not exactly phenomenal at CQC. Really, they're not good at CQC. Although, compared to a lot of line infantry. They're okay. M8's trying to dodge this Panther. We do see an early Panther here, along with a Nimrod. So right now, Mr. Ghosty seems to have the right mix of troops, with that ME-210 going unanswered. ME-210's a good bomber. Really solid, fast, cheap. It's got a good bomb loadout. Does some good work. M5A1 going to be a bit of an issue, though. Like, Shotashok can't go any further. Can the Motilovich get on with their boosting? Absolutely they can. Oh, and it misses! Whoa! That does not happen often. Although it is 80% accuracy. It's not like the 90 of the Panzerschreck and stuff. Now the Stuart goes down, so that gets rid of all that veterancy. Really nice there. Armored rifle does push through. Nimrod's got to be careful, though. That armored rifle with the bazooka is very dangerous. The Stuart will easily go down to the Nimrod, though, but it backs up instead, probably trying to stay away from whatever this is. Panther pushes forward instead, but that gets held up shooting at this M8 over here. The M8's going to take a runner, as it should. 75 mil spotting the 50 cal, but the 50 cal is still running. MG34 getting caught out by the armored rifles. Panther trying to get on target on this M5A1. Will it get there? It will not. Just nice little lovely line of sight working there. The Lovesh and Arkazak get pushed off by the machine guns of the Stuart and the M3A1 here. And now this Moto Lovesh, yeah, it's not going to get in there. This flag getting easily caught by Koenig here with no support there. Motilevic, though, and the Nimrod push back the armored rifle. The Panther is still in that position. Stuart's going to run into it now. Another flag easy caught here by Koenig. Mr. Ghosty's just leaving. He's like keeping his troops super concentrated, but it is leaving gaps in his line that's allowing Koenig just like randomly capture flags. ME-210 in again, hits the armored rifles, it would appear, and damages the M3A1. Here comes the F6. I mean, it's got 4 Brownings. That's not an amazing loadout, and it's pretty zippy. Though really weird to only see that unit. So the Stuart finally goes down. The double flamethrower, they're going to be tough to deal with. At least with this makeup of units at the moment. Neither player flush with flames. I mean, second Pancelos has basically none outside of the long Shotashocks. And even the U.S. division really has none outside the flamethrowers, actually. So it's going to end up being like a grenade-tossing game. That's what it's going to end up being. But now, back to a 12-12. Motilovich out of bazooka rounds. I'm not sure if Ghosty has noticed, because he doesn't really actually have a way to kill this M3A1. Smoke goes down. M3A1's probably just going to pin this in like a quarter second. Oh, no, he got within range. He's within the 100-meter range, so the 50 cal can't fire. And now Mr. Ghosty recapturing his flag down south and picking up his first advantage of the game. Some great fast-paced play here. I would say I think that second Pancelos is just pretty favored in this matchup. I mean, its armor kills Shermans pretty well. You got Panthers, you got Tigers. Those absolutely manhandle Shermans easily. Your infantry are just way more efficient than third armoreds, like by a lot. And that efficiency, like, they're just going to out-efficient the American units by a lot. Because the American infantry aren't exactly amazing either. Like, they're not even, like, really good American infantry. They're just solid for their price. But you don't get that many of them. And second Pancelos can kind of spam a little bit, despite being an armored division. We see some Lovesh here. Kind of surprised to see those brought in. I'm pretty sure you can get enough Moto Lovesh to like fill out every phase. You can, but he's brought them in addition to that. ME-210 going for the 50 cal. Will it land? It does not. Total miss there. Koenig predicting that, I guess the second he saw it. Another Moto Lovesh in, gets the rocket off and kills that Stuart. Now Lang Shotashok has to finish off this flamethrower to secure this and Ghosty on a 14-10 here. See, like the Panther is a big issue. The M5 and the M10s can deal with it. The M5 gun and the M10s. But the M5 gun doesn't come till B phase, and there's only 2 M10s in A phase. So it's going to be tough. Now, technically, too, the M4A176 can deal with it, but it's got to be a little bit closer. That 130 millimeters of penetration, it's going to struggle to pen the 130 millimeters at longer ranges. At close up, it should, but at longer ranges, it's going to be tough, actually. Half tracks continue to be half tracks. Obnoxious to the extreme. This is a shockingly passive on the hill here. This is usually at, like, the center of fighting here, but it looks like both players have opted to just fight on the flanks. Obviously, the center not great for their armored elements. And Ghosty securing a pretty good foothold down south, although the M1 gun, if it was in position, would be, you know, easy kills on these, but it's out of position currently. 75 mil should be able to help. Ju-88 Recon coming in. This ME-210 has done a ton of damage up here to break up these infantry and allow Mr. Ghosty to capture this northern part. M15 going to push off that Ju-88. Might even kill it. Ju-88 is flying right over it. But I think the Ju-88 has very good resilience, so it should be fine from this single piece of AA. Unvetted, too. So, yeah, it should be fine. Panther is repositioning here. It looks like perhaps Ghosty's looking for some sort of action here in the middle. Can't be sure. Now, we do see a 149 already, but it hasn't fired yet. Motolovish versus Armored Rifles BAR. I mean, technically the Armored Rifles win, and now with the Motolovish out in the yellow, they definitely win. Lovish going to back up and get back in. M5, one gun, trying to get in position, but the Terrans and stuff might get out of position in time. Here comes the ME-210 again. The M15 probably won't stop this bombing strike. We'll see, though. Oh, it's medium resilience. I think these were very good resilience. Oops. Nope, it does not. The 50 cals, so 50 cals got a buff in their AA ability, as if that was necessary. So now 50 cals on random vehicles are actually, like, a little effective. Like, they do something. Now the 75 mil gets on target. That M1 gun might go down, but it should get out of range just pretty quick. ME-210 does miss its target, but the Lovesh coming through here should be able to make ground. And this is the thing, again, armored rifles are 25 points for each. And they're not, I mean, they're 20, but they're coming in with something that's 5 points. Oh, it's the armored rifle BAR is 25 points, excuse me. These are 25 points. Armored rifles don't have a BAR. That's why I felt like these were better than usual. Motolovesh do kill off an M3A1 down here, so that's pretty big. Now the Toldies and the Terrans pushing through. Will they be able to stop that M1 gun from killing them? The answer is no. 75 mil does kill off the 50 cal, though. Toldie 2 takes a hit, but gets out of line of sight now. So that stays alive for the time being. But Ghosty right now, I would say, in advantage in most positions, although Koenig building up a pretty strong armored force here up north. I'm kind of a little surprised at this repositioning of the Panther up here. I thought he was going to push, and that would make sense then that he put this here. But if he's not pushing, I'm not sure why. Because obviously the Panther's main strength is right here out in the open, where it can, like, dominate this hill and stuff. 81 mortar going for the machine guns. 149 is still sitting silent. Ghosty has clearly forgotten he brought it in. Believe me, I feel for him. I get it. Do it all the time. We've all seen me do it. ME-210 getting in again. And there's only 2 pieces of AA in A phase for Koenig, which is why he's really struggling to stop these planes. Because the ME-210 can just fly wherever the A is not. Now, that was a huge whiff on that bombing strike. A little surprising. I feel like he could have easily spotted that out better and actually, like, maybe killed the engineer or something. So here comes another M15. That means, now it's B phase, so he couldn't get AA down south. But if it was earlier, he wouldn't be able to get any AA down here, so he'd be, like, totally screwed. These 75 mils have been absolutely devastating. At only 30 points, these are nuts. At 12 rounds a minute, you get this nice heat shell. They don't really ever fire the AP shell because they have the same range, which is really odd. Usually the heat shell is a shorter range. And then a really good HE shell at 2.2 damage. Motolovesh catching out the BAR here. This is a Pack 40. Like, this is an actual Pack 40. Like, not even like the 75 mil thing. And now we see a Panzer IV and a Terran 2 rolling in. We are now into B phase, so both players getting all their points. And now here comes a massive, an absolutely massive armor push here in the central hill, made up of Terran 2s, Panzer 3s, and Toldie 2s. That'll be huge. And there's nothing here to stop that. Like, there is nothing. Koenig is not prepared for that push whatsoever. Ghosty has traded really well, which has allowed him to get this much stuff in the middle without sacrificing his flanks. Like, Ghosty absolutely crushed Koenig's early light armor push. Sorry, finally starting to get my voice back, but that does not mean that the sniffles are gone. Pack 40 taking forever to line up. Will it get pinned before the 50? Okay, there goes one. Can it stop this M3A1, though, in time? Nope, it cannot. Well, it could have, maybe, but Mr. Ghosty decides to call it off early. Terran 2 now in position. Can it pick up a kill here? Ooh, just kidding. There's an M1 gun here. Half track goes down. Can the combined units kill off this M1 gun before it kills either of these units? Probably the Panzer IV here. Leader goes down. More rounds down range. Yeet! Panzer IV goes down. Tehran 2, will it survive? It's still alive, and it will survive, but will it kill off this M1 gun? It really needs to. It does not. Oof. So finally, the RD is firing. It's looking for that 81mm mortar, I assume. No, actually, it's going after the M4A176 here. And here comes the push on the hill with the support of the Panther. The few infantry here pushing up as well. No response yet. Not sure if Koenig has gathered how dangerous this push is. No, he hasn't. He has nothing here to see what's going on. He's kind of like both players, again, have put so little onto the hill. Koenig hasn't had to, and usually you fight hard for this hill. This is just a very odd, and I understand why, because armor play is definitely far more down south. There's a lot more play for the armor. And once you get into these open places up north, there's a lot more play for armor too. Tehran 2 coming up against this M4A3 has legitimately zero chance. Yeah, it's going to die. Now turret stuck is basically going to take it out of action anyway. And down it goes. So definitely a mistake there by Gozi. Probably focusing on this central push. It's got a Nimrod in there too. M19, not a great machine gun. Definitely not the almighty 50 cal by any stretch. 81mm mortar trying to bomb out these buildings so he can get back onto this flag. I mean, Ghosty's position down south actually pretty tenuous, with all of his points poured into the center here. We see a 155mm off map coming in. I mean, that might be able to saturate it, but there's not much to follow it up at this point. Pack 40 just kind of poking at infantry. Although the problem is these infantry are the only thing that can stop them is this Pack 40 right now. But Ghosty currently on a 15-9, about to get a 16-8 if he can finish clearing off this hill successfully. These Tehran 2s have just such a painfully slow turret turn speed. And of course, there's no way to know that other than experiencing the misery of watching it turn. Because for some reason, Eugen doesn't like us to know stats. It's kind of annoying. And y'all know I love this game, but there are problems with it. Despite my absolute love of it, and it's my favorite game of all time, there are very real problems with it. One of the big ones being stats. Tons and tons of stats that are completely hidden. The second is the current ridiculous of the infantry meta. And you all know I love my infantry, but like, come on. ME210, it's going to go down to the F6. Down it goes. Will the other one go down too? No, the F6 pulls off, actually. Well, it just unfortunately did not follow up like I'm sure Koenig was hoping. Yes, my last couple ranked Q games have basically just been 4th Fallschirmjäger and like playing against 4th Fallschirmjäger and 1st Airborne and 1st Special and just every horrible division you don't want to play against. It's been miserable. It's been absolutely miserable. Fallschirmjägers did not need snipers. I did not agree with that change whatsoever. Well, I guess I should say specifically 4th Fallschirmjäger did not need or deserve anything like a sniper unit at all. That division is so gross. It's so broken. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Please nerf that division. Like, nerf it hard. It's time, Eugen. I don't know what your thing is with 4th Fallschirmjäger. Like, you got a love thing for it, but, like, it's time. Nerf the balls off that division. But anyway, off of my rant. Off my soapbox now. Flamethrower is going to go down this flag now. 16-8. Mr. Ghosty really starting to peel back the defenses here of Koenig. This off map, probably not a great buy. That's a whole tick of income that I'm not sure it's going to do very much. And yeah, Ghost even pushing off the hill now. Panther on the edge of this hill, too. That's extremely dangerous. Oh, this poor armored rifle, which took no damage from 3 tank rounds. A little much. That's another thing that they might... at least that's the rumor on the street. I've heard talk about scaling the fallback mechanic back a little bit. So, like, when you fall back a unit, it gets a pretty significant damage reduction. I think it's 80%. If not 80, then it's definitely at least 75%. It may be time. Ooh, that M1 gun poking at the Panther. But it's run out of APCR. Jumbo gets a shooter knockout from the Tehran 2. Look at that thing go. Go, Tehran 2. You can do it, my friend. Survive. Panzer 3 getting a kill on the half track there. It's going to... Well, technically, it won't struggle against either one. I don't know. I never know. Panzer IIIs are always like a weird... Sometimes they're beyond phenomenal, and other times they're still good, but not as beyond phenomenal as you hope they will be. So now an 18-6, a triple tick here for Mr. Ghosty. Things not going well for Koenig at all. Panther gets hit on the side from the M4A1 over here, but all the armor in the center is dead. And Ghosty, of course, has more Panthers. And we still have 3 minutes left of B phase. 149 going after the infantry blob down here, trying to soften that up. There is an MG and a 75 mil here, so this flag should be relatively safe for now. These armored rifles will probably push off this motorized Arkazak. Panzer IV trying to move in here because there's an M3A1 now capturing this flag, at least turning off the... It's technically a quadruple tick. I say triple because it's 3 lines, but it's actually a quadruple tick. Another tank goes down. Forgot what that was. Oh, it's a Panzer III. Oh, the Jumbo Wumbo. I hate these things so much. There's actually a lot of American units I just do not like the way they function. I think they're crap. Jumbo, the APCR of these freaking M10s and M5 guns is ridiculous. Tron 2, everything's trying to fall back. The fallback will actually put them into the off-map, which is kind of like, oof. Dirt. Oh no, the Panzer IV just got absolutely annihilated. I think it was a combination of the M4A1 and the M8s. All of a sudden, Mr. Ghosty's southern flank collapsing a little bit here. Double Panther coming in, though. Whoa. That's a strong play. That's sending a message. But Mr. Ghosty's still in a commanding position here. Now that he's collapsed the northern front, Koenig on the back foot up there. Off map coming in, although it's not hitting like anything, really. I do want to point out something that these pro players do, and it's something that me personally, too, I got to work on a lot because I just don't do it enough. They're pro players, I think what really makes a pro player good is their ability to just push other parts of the line, despite the fact that's not where the fighting really is. So, like, up here, Ghosty had this. He could have just sat here and defended the whole game, and I can tell you right now that's what I would have done. I would have just sat here and just built up, you know, AT, machine gun, infantry, and been done with it. Like, I captured this flag. It's mine. I would have never considered trying to push out of this open area into these flags here. And because he was starting to lose down south, he pushed up north to capture these flags. And it's just like, I would have been panic calling in units here to try to fight back this push. And it's just like, it happens to us all. Like, it's just your reaction to it. Like, you're losing a flag. Like, obviously, you don't want to do that. A part of your line is collapsing. Go, save it. But the thing is, a lot of times these pro players, they just don't do that. They call, like, 1 or 2 units in further back to stabilize the line so it doesn't just, like, keep collapsing in forever. And then they send some massive attack somewhere else, like, just completely different. Because they know, based on, like, the attack that's hitting them currently, that the opponent must be light somewhere else. Especially if you feel like you've traded well. And I'm sure Ghosty has a good feeling right now that he's traded pretty solid at this point. So there's no reason that Koenig should be able to make a big push like this down south and still be strong everywhere else. That's just not going to be possible. Now we do hit C phase here. Motorized Arkazak do get overwhelmed by these infantry. A lot of infantry coming in. Pack 40 misses its crucial shot to kill that M4A1. More off map. Not going to hit much though. This Motorized Lovich going to get pushed off. Now 16-8. Panther, oh, gets the M1 gun. That's not good. I mean, the M1 gun shouldn't be able to pen this Panther. I think it really just shouldn't be able to. It probably has like a 15% chance of penetrating. Second Panther going to get involved now. Just kidding. It's shooting at a rifle squad. Wah, wah. Lovash, Velderitak, just getting absolutely pinned down immediately by the M8. Motolovich with their bazooka, though, might be able to solve that problem. M4. Oh, M4A1 goes down to the Panther. Very abnormal to see the Panther fire first. Motolovich able to still hold on to this flag, though. And now another 18-6 for Mr. Ghosty as Koenig struggles to find ground. And this is the power of 2nd Pancelos. It's just the efficiency of their infantry. Like, you're able to just call in so many infantry and just have them all over the map all the time. And then, because their infantry are cheap, you can actually call in the heavy tanks. Like, you can call in Panthers and Tigers, and it doesn't feel so backbreaking for you because you have just so many infantry anyway, despite calling in 130-point tanks. So Koenig finally making some big progress down south, but it's probably too little too late here. These units aren't dead. They're going to come kill this light armor. Panther has a gun jam now from what? I have no idea, honestly. Oh, the M5 gun, probably. Probably that M5 gun. Tiger on the scene up north. Only a minute and a half left here for Koenig as he struggles to hold on. M4A1 does have a bunch of 50 cals, but it doesn't do much else. Langstroth Shock pins down the armored rifles, going to surrender those. The few flame units in this match. So mighty. And wow, that freaking 75 mil just absolutely tearing things up. Nimrod finished off that Stuart. Nimrod's, of course, disgustingly good. And they did get nerfed, actually, recently. They're not even as good as they were up until a few moments ago, like very recently. Still die, though. M1 gun does manage to take it out. ME210 immediately in. Oh, nope, just kidding. He's going for the engineer. There's no AA down south to stop it. Jumbo Wumbo coming in, though. Odd call at this point in the game. Yeah, and Koenig throws in the towel. Mr. Ghosty taking game one in pretty decisive fashion. 22 minutes and 53 seconds. 2,300, 10 kills to 1,425. Yeah, you could definitely feel that in-game. There's nothing particularly surprising about that one. But excellent game to both players. Always very exciting to see some armored action. And if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. Thanks a bunch, and have a fantastic day.